Okay, we have got to go ahead.
Okay. So, welcome to the IPMAT IIM Indore 2020 analysis. That, I guess, is what most of you would be feeling today. It's finally over. I think this exam that should have got done way back in May, June, July, August. Now we are in September, almost 4 months delayed. But friends, it's finally over, and I'm sure you're the kind of relief that is there. And those of you who had to write DUJAT, you wrote DUJAT. People who had to write IPMAT, Indore finally wrote. It is time to kind of now unwind yourself. But before you guys go and enjoy, let us just take you through the IPMAT, today's paper, and the possible cutoffs that I'm pretty sure all of you are going to be looking forward to. In fact, we have also given the calculator by any chance, Amitendra?
Where?
On our website.
No, we haven't, because this is a memory-based analysis actually. So
Okay. So here is where we go, guys. I think there was finally, at least if there was one thing which was confident, and we were sure, and every one of us were sure that the pattern at least will not change after IPMAT has changed the pattern. The IIM Indore has changed the pattern from 100 questions to 60 questions and 120 minutes to only 90 minutes. This is what, there was no change in the pattern. At least what people got or what people expected is what exactly they got in the paper. In fact, when I look back, Amitendra, that we did an analysis of IPMAT, that what is it that to be expected to a large extent. I think if people have followed whatever we said, I think they would have done much better. In fact, I've got mails to say that, sir, finally ho gaya hai, acha hi kar liya hai, kind of things. So your first comments on this paper?
yeah, in fact, I spoke to quite a number of students actually and took the feedback from them. So because we are not supposed to write the paper, so I went on to write the DUJAT paper because of the age limit factor. So I chose to spoke to quite a
finally we know you are old.
Yeah, so from Delhi NCR, from Bhubaneswar and other locations, I spoke to the students, and that's how we are coming up with the memory-based analysis. Overall, they are quite satisfied. Obviously, as you said, finally the exam is over, so they are pretty relaxed. No more exams now. So finally, this was the one most awaited exam for the year, and that got over today. Overall, it was completely on the expected line, so they were ready. In fact, some of them said that if you look back at the mocks, that made us pretty confident as far as this paper was concerned. In fact, this was kind of a cakewalk as compared to the mocks. They found it because they have written so many mocks, 17, 18 mocks of IPMAT. So they felt pretty confident actually, and they are eagerly waiting for the cutoffs to be announced, and by IIM Indore, obviously by us and by IIM Indore, so that they can go ahead and prepare for the video assessment, which will definitely be a new thing. So wait and watch thing actually how it goes, as there is no PI, we all know, but they are pretty excited.
And let me also tell you, all of you who are listening to us, all our CL students at your respective centers, we will still help you to ensure that video-based analysis, whatever needs to be done, we will help you to get it done too. Not an issue at all. And here is what I will completely tell you. Those very sincere students who did not get COVID affect them too much, not in terms of whether COVID affecting, but the mental makeup, and went into an exam thinking that, hey, finally, I have a chance to, prove myself. Quite a lot of them actually, as you rightly said, Amitendra, have done pretty very well. And you know that we make our mock slightly more difficult than normal. And that makes kind of this exam easy cakewalk kind of things. Here is what the section had in quantitative ability. Those of you who have written this exam: a logarithm-based question, a determinant, a functions-based question, permutations and combinations, a probability, geometry, of course, in circles, and arithmetic, 3 questions. That's kind of a savior, people who are comfortable in arithmetic at least. Even if you are not a math student, if you did your maths till 10th, you could have easily done 3 to 4 questions, and I don't think the cutoff is going to be very, very high. In fact, that is where I have whatever feedback I have got also, Amitendra, saying that understanding the kind of pressure that students have are going through or have gone through, I certainly believe the cutoff will not go up very, very high.
Yes, in fact, though students felt this section to be slightly difficult, moderately as such, but compared to the other section, and more if I look at the overall breakup of the topics, it's very similar to last year, in fact. So we had arithmetic last year, we had number system. The number system this year was not there in this particular section, but it is very, very simple, though similar to 2019. So even if the number of questions have been reduced to half, they have tried to maintain the balance just like last year actually. So anybody who is not very much comfortable with higher maths still, but could have done a very decent job in this section as well.
Though we are putting it across that for a general category student, I'm just going to the previous one itself. Though we say that it could be 12, I believe that can probably be only 8 also, Amitendra, given that there are only 10 questions. If you remember, last year with 20 questions, the cutoff was 20.
Yes.
But there was a year before last, it was only 16.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, it can be anywhere between, as you correctly said, 12 or 16. But depending on the kind of pressure that students have taken, it cannot be a 14 because there's no negative marking here. Either it will be 12 or it will be 16 or it will be 8 only kind of things. And when you talk about the next one, if you can just take a quick discussion. I have spoken to people about data interpretation. It was not difficult, except that it was calculation intensive. Is that correct?
Yes, very much correct. In fact, most of the students gave the feedback that out of the 5 questions, 3 were pretty inference based actually, but 2 took some time actually to solve actually. Some definitely found it tough actually, a little bit time consuming, but overall the feedback has been this section though was the difficult, especially the data interpretation part. That set was slightly difficult actually, but if one had planned the overall time out there, one could have definitely done a decent job over here in this section as well. Again, concepts like if you can, as you see on the screen, like they have tried to maintain a complete balance kind of actually. So similar, I can recall 2019 completely actually. So mostly from 9th and 10th, the topics which are taught in 9th and 10th, very few questions from 11th and 12th. So out of 40 questions last year, I remember correctly, only 11 or 12 probably were from higher mathematics actually. And given the ratio this year, the number of questions being reduced to 20, half of it at like last year, it's more or less on the similar lines actually.
The only thing what again the feedback which comes in every time is when there are 40 questions, the number of arithmetic questions typically kinds of takes care of a lot of students. But if you look at it in this year's paper, for whatever reasons in the world, the number of questions in arithmetic has been almost 0. All of arithmetic has been completely, frankly, data interpretation. In that sense of the word, very correctly, you have, in fact, Amitendra, you have come out probably that the cutoff will not be very, very high. And you're right about it when the student saying that the section is difficult and it's not 1 or 2 students across the cross section. So clearly, I think the marks, if you had 30 minutes for 20 questions, if you had picked up the 7-8 good questions properly, or even 10 questions and got something like 7-8 right, you would get comfortably your cutoff. Would that be correct?
Definitely, completely agree to that.
And the last one, of course, was the verbal ability section. Verbal ability section can be considered as probably the easiest of the 3 sections, at least in this IPMAT 220. And I think that's similar if you look at it last year also.
Yes. In
And
fact, for the last 2 years, or even prior to that, if I look at 2016, 17, 18, and 19, so if you look at the overall sectional cutoff, it has always been higher for this particular section actually. Even if I look at the last year paper, 2019, the MCQ of mathematics again had 40 questions. This section has 40 questions, but this particular section always had the higher cutoffs as compared to the other two actually. And definitely one of the reasons has to be the section has to be easy all the time actually. That's what makes it
completely agreed with out of 120 marks, the cutoff frankly will be higher and probably closer to 50-60 kind of things, if not 50-55, if not lesser kind of things. That's exactly what I would completely agree with you, Amitendra. Here is what
just going back a little bit, so for those students, in fact, while I was speaking to them, and as on the expected lines, because the number of questions had been reduced, so it was very much expected that one of the passages will go away. So till 2019, there used to be 2 reading comprehension passages. So it was very much expected that whatever changes they would make, this is the first thing where the change will happen. So one of the there was just one passage. It was about an author who happened to be a botanist actually. So it was pretty, students found it a bit challenging, but it was easier actually. So once you have read the passage, one could easily solve this question. They found the passage to be slightly lengthy considering the online examination. And if you look at the previous year's papers, they found that this time the passage was a bit lengthy as compared to the previous years. Comparing it with the sample papers which they have given, the sample paper was actually the 2019 paper which they had given actually. So they compared it with that and they felt that this was slightly. But overall, if you look at the other areas like fill in the blanks, para jumbles again was theta. So same story like 2019, no choices were given for the 3 questions. So you had to key in your answer using the keyboard actually. And the other grammars, idioms, phrases, they were pretty easy, pretty sitters. So that's why, in fact, the students I spoke to, most of them have attempted somewhere around 26, 27 questions actually.
That's pretty good. Right. Okay. So here is what we will look at it, what we believe will be the good scores. What's your best good score in quantitative? We'll come now to the next one. With 90 minutes and 60 questions given to you, quantitative ability, we are talking about 2 different things. In fact, one is the good score, one is of course the cutoff. Cutoff is something where you will need the bare minimum to go and ensure that you will get at least a call. Whereas good score is to kind of give you an overall mark, good enough for you getting a final interview, or rather in this case, a selection for the video interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, shall I go to the next one, which is the most important page for us?
I think that's what they are all waiting for.
In fact, everybody is waiting for that. Here we go, guys, where we believe the cutoffs for your IPMAT 2020 are. The cutoffs, of course, are given for the general category very, very clearly. We are also given you what could be a very decent score in each of the sections, so that an overall cutoff out of the 240 marks, I think if you get 150, 160, you can be 100% sure that you will you kind of make it into this year's IPM Indore. And 85% of the selection is based on this score itself. And therefore, I think this score is the kind of score that you should look at. Amitendra.
Yeah, so just to give them the clarity to all the guys attending out here. So there are 2 kinds of cutoffs which will come in the paper. So one will be the sectional cutoff, as you know. So you have to clear each of the sections individually, and there will be an overall cutoff. Now, somehow there has been no transparency. They have not been very keen to revert to our RTIs as well, actually. But obviously based on the students' feedback, so if I look at 2019, and if you remember the data, guys, the overall sectional cutoffs, if added together, were 122, and the overall cutoff was close to somewhere around 180 and so. So anybody who gets 50% or above in the paper would definitely be shortlisted for the next stage. But the more you get, as ARKSS said, if you get somewhere around 150 or so, your chances of getting finally selected would definitely be on the higher side. The more you score, definitely, because this time, unlike 2019 or previous years, instead of 50% weight being assigned to this test, this time it is 85%. So obviously there's going to be a lot of competition out there. So the more you score, and 150 should comfortably take you through actually, provided you do not do a disaster kind of thing as far as even those 15% of video assessment is concerned.
Absolutely. Right. So that's where we come down to. And the next part of it is what we have. So the final merit list will be based on aptitude test score and the video assessment, which is about 15%. A composite score, which is a combination of both your aptitude test score and a video assessment score, will be given to you, where this year very clearly there will be no WAT or a personal interview. The video assessment most probably will be where they will give you questions and you need to record it directly and upload it onto their portal. The questions may be same for everybody, or there is a possibility, like it has happened with a lot of such kind of exams before, that a few of them will get certain similar questions and a few others will get a different set of questions too. Amitendra.
In fact, here I would like to state that, as you said, probably there could be 2 different or 3 different set of questions given to different candidates. But somehow I feel that if I look at into the previous year's selection process, where there used to be VAT and personal interview for the shortlisted students, for those 820 students every year being shortlisted, before they used to appear for, before they were appearing for the next stage, which was VAT and PI, they were given a questionnaire, which was more of an SOP actually. So why you want to take up this program? And the other question used to be describe about your extracurricular and scholastic achievements. So I think that is one thing where they should also, they should right away start preparing. Obviously, you all guys should take a break for a day, but then at least prepare your SOP. It's high likely that you might have those 2 questions. Everyone, there could be some different questions, but it is high likely that you might have those 2 questions. Why do you want to, why you wish to join this program, the IPM program? So what's your vision for that? And obviously talking about your extracurricular achievements and your scholastic achievements, very important actually. So at least on these 2 lines, we will definitely get to know when they announce the video assessment, what they are exactly doing for the shortlisted candidates. But just to be on the safe side, if you're ready with these 2 questions, I think you'll be doing a decent job as far as your assessment is concerned.
Very correctly said, Amitendra. This is for every one of you who's listening carefully. Please make sure that most probably, and it's almost a certainty, that they will ask you, why do you want to join their program? What do you want to be 15 years from today? Probably that kind of questions. And about yourself, what has been your journey like? What have been the challenges like? What are your strengths and weaknesses like? The normal personal interview questions converted into video could be what you can expect. So keep that ready, and we will be there to help you out as we go along here too. Okay, with that, very short, we wanted to make it about 15 minutes. It's about 18 minutes, Amitendra. Guys, you guys have gone through quite a bit, quite a lot. It's okay, but it's over now, except for that last bit of 15 minutes of 15% of the video assessment that you need to do. We will also keep our fingers crossed as much as you do, because nothing is more satisfying than when you come back and say, hey sir, we got it, kind of things. We're looking forward to that and making sure that you have a fantastic career going forward. I sign off from here. Amitendra.
Yeah, so in fact, I would like to add one thing here. So all the students attending the session today, and please inform your friends to watch the analysis if they have not been able to, because of some of your friends might be writing DU JAT if they happen from Delhi NCR, the second slot actually, which is just happening right now. So in case they have not been able to attend the analysis, do tell them to attend the same and look at the cutoffs and everything. But it's a humble request to all of you guys. The moment IIM Indore declares the results, connect with your center immediately or write to us immediately. The moment they declare what will be the format of the video assessment, we are there to help you guys. Do not hesitate. Please connect immediately. because you will have very little time. And if you want us to help you in that editing part, how to prepare your answers will be depending on the format. We'll be doing some sessions definitely. But if you want an individual attention to your answers, actually what exactly should go in your video, it's a request that please connect on priority with your respective centers, whoever you are in touch with, your center manager, your faculty, or connect with us. You know very well, ARKSS and I. Please do not hesitate. Connect with us on real-time basis. We'll be glad to help you out. With that, I, Amiten, sign off from here and wish you all the best for all your endeavors and expect all of you to come out with flying colors in this examination. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.